Well, hello and welcome back to another Cash on Air video. This is Rob Minton. It's early in the morning on a Saturday. I'm out for a run. It's been incredibly humid and hot here in Ohio and probably everywhere. I'm at one of my favorite places. That is Lake Erie behind me. And I just thought I would take a break because I needed one to record the intro to this important video. And in this video, I want to share a really incredible strategy that you can use to pay off your mortgage within 10 to 15 years, and you'll save probably over $200,000 in mortgage interest. You're also going to see a really incredible guaranteed investment that offers a very high rate of return that you'll probably be surprised at what you learn in this video. The really interesting thing about this is that if you implement this strategy, you're going to set things up so that someone else pays off your mortgage for you. Now, I know that sounds a little too good to be true. It doesn't sound like someone else would pay your mortgage off, but I'll show you how to structure things to do exactly that. So there are two key ideas in this video to pay attention to. The first one is how to use your amortization schedule for your mortgage to make guaranteed investments. And then the second one is how to get other people to pay off your mortgage. Okay, so pay attention to the whole video because there's a lot of value in everything we're going to be sharing with you. Another thing to keep in mind is that you can use this strategy that we'll be sharing with you to pay off any loan that you have, including student loans, car loans, and credit card debt. And to understand how this works, we're just going to study a hypothetical mortgage amortization schedule. These schedules are so incredibly powerful if you understand them. And the problem is most people don't understand how to use the amortization schedule to your advantage, which I'll show you here. So here's a hypothetical mortgage. It'll be for $350,000. It'll be a 30-year mortgage, and the interest rate will be 6%. And as you can see with my funky looking cursor, the monthly mortgage payment is $2,098. The total interest that would be paid over this mortgage is $405,000. And let's dig into the actual schedule. So here's how this schedule looks. The person that had this mortgage would make a monthly payment of $2,098, and you can see of that $298 payment, only $348 of the first payment is going towards the principal balance. The rest of that payment, $1,750, is going towards interest. So amortization schedules are engineered to favor the lender, and they favor the lender probably through, I would say, year 20 or 25, and that is because the majority of your monthly payment is going towards interest and not principal reduction. Now that you understand this, there's a way that you can use this schedule to your advantage, and that is when you make your first mortgage payment, in this particular example, this payment here, you make your $2,098 payment, and then you add in an additional $350.17, and that additional amount is really, you're simply prepaying the principal portion of the next month's mortgage payment. You'd send in two checks, one for the $2,098 and another one for $350, and the second check would be marked, paid towards principal. By doing that, you actually then pay your mortgage down to this balance here, which is $349,301 in this example. And if you think about that, because you made this payment 1 month early, you basically skip this interest payment. So you save yourself $1,748. And then in September, in this example, you would send in a check of $2,098, but you would add another check for $351, and then you would be prepaying yourself down to $348,000. And by doing that, you would skip another interest payment of $1,746. So this is why it's really important to understand these amortization schedules, because if you arrange things so that you make this extra principal payment with each month's payment, you are skipping 1 month of mortgage payment for every single mortgage payment that you pay. The other thing that is kind of important to think about, and it's hard to think about, but every row in your amortization schedule represents a month of your life. Usually to earn the money to pay our mortgage and other expenses, we have to go to work. So if you work 40 or 50 hours a week, you are basically trading away 160 to 200 hours of your life in order to earn money to make these mortgage payments. So by making this extra principal payment of just $350 in this example, you're saving 1 month of mortgage payments going forward. And it's extremely powerful strategy to use. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that this little plan provides a very high rate of return on your investment. When someone talks about prepaying their mortgage, or they ask the typical financial advisor, should I prepay my mortgage? The typical financial advisor will say, no, it's a mistake. You're only, in this case, saving yourself 6% interest. Well, that is not accurate because of how the way amortization schedules. In this example, if you were to pay $350 extra with your first monthly mortgage payment, like we just talked about, you're saving $1,748 in interest. That means your $350 investment saves or returns you $1,750. And this is guaranteed, right? It doesn't matter what the stock market doesn't matter, crypto market doesn't matter, the value of the home doesn't matter. What matters is that you just engineered this so that you removed $1,750 from your future payments. This is a guaranteed return on investment of 48.29%, and that's just making one additional mortgage prepayment. The return is far higher than 6% of the mortgage. So when someone tells you it doesn't make sense to prepay your mortgage, that person does not understand the way amortization schedules work. Okay, so this is a guaranteed investment. You cannot find a guaranteed investment that offers this rate of return. Trust me, I've looked, and they're not available. So here's how the 49 or 48% return on investment was calculated. The amount invested is $350. The amount saved, in this case, was interest, was $1,748. Annualized rate of return on that is 48%, which is just astronomical. So now that you understand how to use guaranteed investments to pay off your mortgage early, the next step in this process is to arrange things so that somebody else makes this additional monthly principal payment for you. And the suggestion that we have would be to buy a nice single family rental property. And let's just say that this nice single family rental property provides you a monthly positive cash flow of $350, and that's after you pay your taxes, insurance, and repairs and maintenance. Now, this is hypothetical. Obviously, there's a lot more to investing in real estate, but on a high level, if you had a rental property that paid you $350 a month, you could use that $350 a month to then use this plan and make an additional monthly principal payment on your primary residence. So you'll have a mortgage probably on your rental property, but then you'll also be using the cash flow to pay down the mortgage on your primary residence. Okay, so your tenant then is paying you money that you'll then use to prepay. So the money that is being used to prepay your mortgage is not coming out of your paycheck. It's coming out of your tenant's paycheck. Now, if you think about that, you're acquiring an investment property, and that property is paying you $350 a month because you own it. You're then taking that $350, which is a return on your investment, and you're reinvesting it into an investment that provides a guaranteed rate of return of 48% a year. So I don't know if you can really grasp the power of what I just shared with you, but you're using one investment to fund a second investment with a very attractive return on investment. And that second investment actually will take a lot of stress out of your life because you're paying down the mortgage on your home, and you'll have it paid off in a much quicker time than you would if you didn't use this strategy. The other thing to keep in mind, which is really interesting in this plan, is that your tenant, your one tenant in your nice single family home, is actually paying down two mortgages for you. They're going to pay you the cash flow from the profit from the rental property that you're going to use to make additional principal payments on your primary mortgage, but they're also going to be sending you money that you'll use to pay down the mortgage on your rental property. So one tenant is now paying off two mortgages for you at the same time. So a lot of people think, oh, rental properties are, there's horror stories and nightmares, and there certainly are challenges with rental properties, but the benefits far exceed any challenges you can occur because you're paying off two mortgages at the same time from one tenant, from one rental property. So just to reiterate this again, because I'm so excited about it, is the tenants in one single family investment home are paying off two of your mortgages at the same time. And if you think about this going forward, at some point down the road, even if you don't make any additional prepayments on your rental property, at some point down the road, you're going to have a second home that'll be mortgage free because your tenants will pay it off, and that property will then continue paying you monthly income without a mortgage for the rest of your life. So it will supplement your retirement income while they're also prepaying the mortgage on your primary residence. It's really kind of the best strategy someone that can use that really wants to kind of reduce their expenses, reduce their stress, and have their mortgage paid off much faster. And because we're in real estate, we like to kind of game things to our advantage. And so we're going to kick this up a notch, and we're going to do this with 2 rental homes, right? So let's say instead of just buying one nice single family rental home, you bought 2, and each nice rental property that you bought provided a $350 monthly cash flow. What could you do with that? Well, you could do the exact same thing. You could take the cash flow from each rental property and apply it to the mortgage on your primary residence, which would actually help you pay this mortgage off even faster. And now your 2 tenants would be paying off 3 homes, and you will have at some point down the road 2 mortgage-free rental homes offering you additional monthly cash flow. So, we could take this as far as you want to go, but the idea is still the same. Is you buy an income-producing asset, and that asset then provides income that you use to pay down your mortgage and save yourself thousands of dollars in interest, and it also provides you a very attractive guaranteed return on investment. Now, if we stop and think about this, when the average person wants to make additional principal payments on their mortgage, they typically have to do this from the income from their paycheck. So they have to cut back on some of their expenses, maybe entertainment and travel or dinners out or whatever the case might be. They have to cut back on their expenses in order to be able to make the extra principal payments. Well, with this plan, someone else is making those additional payments for you, so you don't have to cut back on your expenses unless you want to. If you want to cut back on your expenses, go for it. We're not saying you shouldn't, but I'm just trying to highlight the power of this is because you kind of get to have your cake and you get to eat it too. So by implementing this plan with just one single family home, you'll structure things so that someone else is paying off 2 valuable assets for your family: your primary residence, where you sleep at night, and your rental property, which will become an income producing asset that you can keep for the rest of your life and you can pass on to your children or grandchildren. Now, obviously, there's a lot more to investing in real estate. It's not, you just don't make a decision today and run out and buy a rental property and everything goes perfectly smooth. That's not how this operates. I wish that were the case, but it's not. So there's a lot more to learn, and that includes the best lending programs for investors, learning which homes make the best investments. Some properties are better suited for rental, some are not. Also, it's important to try to learn how to find a home that you can purchase below value, because if you can buy a home below value, it makes everything we just talked about work even better. And then last but certainly not least, you need to understand and learn how to get qualified tenants that will take care of your home and that will pay on time. If you would like to learn more about acquiring a rental property to implement this powerful plan, you can get instant access to a free training where I detail how you can use rental real estate to retire several years early by visiting assetnair.com. Yes, it's kind of like millionaire, but asset replaces million. Assetnair.com. The idea being assets lead to cash flow and wealth. So you need to focus on accumulating assets. And I'll detail a really cool plan you can use to double your assets every few years in this free training video. And I hope this specific video that you just watched helped, and I look forward to talking with you and helping you achieve your financial goals.